lunch?
I am.
You call that lunch?
Until I lose 10 pounds, I also call it breakfast and dinner.
Get out of here. You look terrific. All right, dog tired, but a thin dog tired. You know what you need?
Liposuction?
No. A vacation. There's a long weekend coming up. How about if you and Jesse take that trip to Carmel you've been talking about?
Because every time we do, something very, very bad happens.
Don't be ridiculous. Susan, tell him.
Carmel is one of the most romantic places on Earth. It's a shame it's cursed.
Well, not you too.
The last time we talked about going, a guy with half his head blown off, infected with a deadly plague, held me captive in the basement.
Yeah, but you don't actually think that that's going to happen again. I mean, we're intelligent people. The way to deal with fear is to confront it.
Or run away from it, screaming.
Just, you don't want Susan to see you like this. A quivering coward ruled by fear and superstition. You want her to think of you as a man of action, a man who's able to overcome any obstacle and give his lover the happiness that she deserves.
How about as a cautious, yet powerfully attractive man who doesn't want to push his luck?
Well, you better hope she doesn't see the text on those new paramedics.
Pack your bags, woman. Going to Carmel.
I guess that back road shortcut was a little too much on the engine. Hey, Jesse, that's good.
Well, at least we're not at the hospital. And, we're together.
In the middle of nowhere.
Can't let a little thing like that spoil our weekend.
Oh, yes, we can.
Look, is it really that bad to be stuck someplace where no one can find us? Just you and me?
It's getting better.
Hey, I tell you what. Why don't you and I head across the street to that little diner, get a nice big fat piece of pie, a la mode. Little diners have great pie, you know.
I'm on a diet, remember?
I'm starving.
I've got another bag of rice cakes in the car.
I've got nothing to eat but rice cakes for the past 200 miles. I'm sick of eating rice cakes.
I am not going off my diet.
But you look great just the way you are.
I don't believe it.
Well, you better believe it, because I'm not having another rice cake as long as I live. Susan. Susan. Who was that?
Someone I used to know. He died 5 years ago.
not bad for a Saturday morning.
I got him, man. Look, I need help. Take these extra menus and this apron there, and it'll make it look more efficient when you take out orders.
Excuse me, I don't work here.
Please, Mandy, you do today. Look, my waitress, my busboy, and my cook called in sick with the flu. All on my day off.
Well, that's not my problem. I came for breakfast.
Who was it that suggested that my business partner take a long romantic weekend with his girlfriend in Carmel?
Jesse and Susan never have time together. They needed a break.
I need help. Something smells mighty good in here. Hey, Dad, here, would you watch the front door?
I'm sure it tastes good, too.
But the employees eat later. This is great, and it's only breakfast. Look, I'd love to stay and chat with you, Dad, but I got my hands full. Chat? I came to eat. Wonderful. Your waitress will be right with you.
Waitress.
She's waiting table?
I hope Jesse's having a good time, because when he gets back, he's going to pay.
I'd like a nice table in the corner, miss.
How by the time we're done eating, the hose will be fixed. We'll be on our way. Sit here.
Let me get these out of the way for you. There you go.
Hi.
Hi. Hey, I know what I want already. A big slice of your famous apple pie.
Well, I didn't know that it was famous.
It will be once I tell everyone how delicious it is.
Just a glass of water will be fine. Do you have to flirt with every woman you see?
I wasn't flirting. I was being friendly.
When you're with me, you're not supposed to be friendly.
All right, well, next time I'll be cold and unreachable.
That would be nice.
All right. So you want to tell me about him?
Who?
Oh, I don't know, the guy we just chased halfway through town. The guy you'd like to be mad at, but you can't be because he's not here, so you're mad at me instead because I am here.
One slice of pie on the verge of stardom.
Thanks.
He was friendly too. Greg had this way of making any stranger his friend with just a smile.
Including you?
Everybody. I was going to UC Santa Cruz. Greg ran this dive shop near the beach. One day I got caught in a rip, and the next thing I knew, I was lying on the sand, getting mouth to mouth from a guy in a wetsuit. It was Greg.
Well, you can't get much friendlier than that.
It's not what you think. He saved my life. After that, I wouldn't go in the water. Greg walks up to me and asks me what I'm afraid of.
Drowning?
That's what I said. So he taught me to scuba dive.
You scuba dive?
Not anymore. Not since he died.
What was it, a diving accident?
His car went off a cliff into the ocean. They never found his body.
Well, then he's definitely still alive.
How do you know that?
A, they never found the body. B, you saw him today. C, he ran away from you. Ergo, he's alive, but wants to stay dead. So maybe we should honor his wishes and get a move on. Check. Have you noticed that we're a little underdressed for this place?
There are lots of wealthy people in Carmel.
We're 150 miles south of Carmel. And besides, did you notice all those cars in the parking lot? Jags, BMWs.
So, are you gonna make us famous?
Looks like you guys already are. Did you strike oil here or something?
Just fish oil. We live off whatever the nets bring in.
I guess those nets bring in a lot.
Yeah, well, we get by.
Your ring. It's beautiful. Can I see it?
Sure.
Jesse, look at this ring.
Yeah, I see.
I mean, really look at it.
I am.
I've got an order up. You two have a nice trip now here.
Let's go.
Now you're talking.
I'm talking to the first person I see with a badge.
What?
Miss, these eggs are cold. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll be right with you. If I could have a busboy, that would really be a big help.
You're doing fine.
Waitress, I can wait 10 minutes for the catch up. Yeah, right. Here you go. Set.
Miss, excuse me, my fork is dirty. And where's my milk?
Do I look like a cow?
Amanda, I don't want to butt in. There's a bunch of people waiting to be seated in the front.
Oh, well, then you can seat them. That's great.
I don't know anything about the restaurant business.
Oh, you'll learn.
Yes? Oh, John.
Hi, Doc.
How are you?
Well, much better since the bypass surgery, thanks to you. Things must be awfully slow at the hospital if you're moonlighting as a waiter.
Oh, I'm just filling in. My son owns the place.
Oh, I've been told the food here is terrific.
Best breakfast in town. What can I get you?
Well, I think I'll start with scrambled eggs.
John, you don't want to do that.
I don't.
Now, eggs are chock full of cholesterol, and here, they fry them in butter.
Is that bad?
Oh, it's the worst, John. That cholesterol sticks to the walls of your veins like big hunks of greasy goo.
Well, how about sausage?
No, that's even worse. You know what they put in sausage? They put brains, feet, snouts, all kind of things that people don't want to eat. The worst. Look, let me suggest a good breakfast. Have a nice bowl of bran flakes and skim milk, a half a grapefruit, some prune juice. How's that? I'll put your order in.
Dad, don't you have to get back to the hospital?
No, not for a couple hours yet. Lady, that stuff's gonna kill you.
Dad.
No, I'm glad to help out. Oh, we're doing fine.
Oh, look, he's dead, he's not dead. What difference does it make now?
Oh, sure, just because they didn't find the body, it doesn't matter.
Well, it might to me.
You mind, we're trying to have a private conversation.
Well, then I wouldn't hold it in front of a sheriff.
I want to report a crime.
A murder.
How can it be a murder? The guy's not even dead.
He is too. I just saw him walking through town.
And maybe one of you should tell me the whole story from the beginning.
Okay, our car broke down
It
this
started
morning.
5 years ago when I was going to UC Santa Cruz, and I met Greg at his dive shop, and he saved me that time and nearly drowned.
No disrespect, miss, but I think I like his story better already. Your car broke down.
Yeah, on the highway a few miles back, and we get stuck in this jerkwater town. I mean, we almost got stuck in this jerkwater town. Fortunately, we were able to keep our car alive long enough to get us here.
And that's when we saw Greg Hutchins.
The dead guy.
In the road.
At the diner.
And I bet he wasn't eating rice cakes. Why is it that even a dead guy is eating better than I am?
You saw this Greg at the diner.
And he ran.
So, of course, we chased him.
And that's when he died.
No, he died 5 years ago. That's what I was trying to tell you.
See, except he's not really dead because we saw him today. So those are two good signs that he probably was never dead in the first place.
Let me see if I understand this. You came into my town, you saw someone who looks like a friend of yours who died 5 years ago, except maybe he didn't die, and now you're thinking that this person you saw is this same Greg Hutchins.
I know it is, because of the ring.
The ring.
The waitress in the diner was wearing the same ring as this one, which is the same ring Greg gave me, which means he has to be here.
You told me your mother gave you that ring.
And you said you were never involved with that nurse in admissions.
So, what exactly would you like me to do?
Something.
Well, I'd say I know most folks around here. I never met anyone named Greg Hutchins. But even if this was your friend, I don't see any crime that would allow me to get involved.
If this man is running around the country pretending to be dead, giving rings to people, he's got to be up to something.
Well, I wouldn't know about that. But I do know something about the waitress's ring. I gave it to her. Jolene's my daughter.
You did?
And I'm not even a little bit dead.
Sheriff, I'm terribly sorry we bothered you.
No bother at all. Miss, when I'm feeling down, I always like to stop by the diner for a big piece of pie. I make you feel better, too.
I tell you, my piano teacher never gave me a ring.
What is that supposed to mean?
I mean, is you sure that this guy was just your scuba instructor?
If you thought your piano teacher was dead and then showed up alive, wouldn't you want to know what happened?
Mrs. Gorbler was like 78 years old, 370 pounds, and she had pet names for her warts. I'd run for my life.
There's a bed and breakfast across the street. We can stay there.
Ah! What about Carmel?
I'm not leaving here until I find out the truth.
Guess I'm not either.
Okay, hold still. There it is. You got any more toys up there? How did you get a marble up your nose anyway?
I wanted to see what it smelled like.
Oh, well, next time hang on a little tighter. Or don't sniff so hard.
Okay. Thanks, Doc.
You're welcome. Seems we
Mark
can have to take your nose off.
Dr. Mark Sloan, line 1.
Dr. Sloan.
Hey, Mark. It's me, Jesse. How's work going?
Hi, Jess. Everything's fine. You're on vacation. You're not supposed to be thinking about work. You should be out seeing the sights.
I am. Saw California's largest oak. Saw a quaint little lighthouse. Saw my girlfriend chase a dead guy through the streets.
In Carmel?
Hey, we're not even in Carmel. We're like 100 miles south in some fishing village.
Some kind of resort for the living dead?
Well, just one that we know of so far. Greg Hutchins, a guy Susan used to know in Santa Cruz, died in a car accident like 5 years ago.
Hutchins. Well, I'll try and look into it for you. If you'll promise to take Susan to a nice romantic dinner.
And does a bag of rice cakes count because that's all she's eaten?
Rice cakes?
I tell you, we have this entire suitcase full of them, I think, just in case there's a sudden world shortage.
Well, at least you're being supportive.
Only until she starts hearing voices.
Jesse!
What'd you do that for? I didn't even have time to give him our number.
But you had plenty of time to make me sound crazy. Do you know how humiliating that is for me?
Oh, come on. The guy used to roller skate through the hallways of Community General. He gives lectures and rap. You gotta go a long way to beat that.
He is your friend, but he is my boss. It is important that he have confidence in me and my judgment. But you have just torpedoed that.
This has nothing to do with your skills as a nurse.
It does if he thinks I'm irrational.
Well, everybody's irrational sometimes. I mean, today you are.
There is nothing irrational about wanting to know the truth.
Okay. Then why don't you tell me who Greg Hutchins is? What is he, a boyfriend? What? Why is it so important to you if this guy is alive or not?
Because I killed him.
Not really. I have a tough time believing you're a murderer.
Really? I could have killed you about 2 minutes ago. In fact, I'm still thinking about it.
All right, well, that I believe. You, want to tell me what happened?
We were at a party. I thought he'd had too many beers, so I insisted on driving us home in his car. It was the designated driver, the sober one, who lost control of the car and steered it off a cliff.
Is that how you got that little scar on your...
Yes.
What about that one eye?
All of the above, okay?
Were you in love with them? And if he's alive, I mean, are you gonna go back to him?
I don't know. Look, you don't have to stay. I'll understand if you wanna go without me.
Amanda, come over here and look at Susan's x-rays. There must have been some accident. Broken leg, broken ribs, a concussion, and take a look at these internal injuries.
Dad, let's not read them out loud, okay?
Oh, okay. You know, according to this report, the investigation was pretty straightforward. No one even considered the possibility that might have been a faked accident.
Well, there was no reason to.
No, not at the time. But let's assume for the moment that Greg Hutchins is alive. Having he deliberately planned this accident. Susan says in her statement that he specifically asked to drive his car, not hers. So he could have tampered with the brakes and figuring they'd go off into the ocean when they skidded off that curb.
It's a nice theory, Dad, but where's your proof?
My proof is right here. See that bruise about the size of a thumb on her temple? And there's a line right around her nose and mouth.
What about it?
My guess is that that's a positive pressure mask.
Can we please get some service?
In a minute.
What's a positive pressure mask?
It's a device used to deliver oxygen to an unconscious diver. They put it over the nose and the mouth.
So you're saying Hutchins tampered with the brakes, then deliberately set the right diving gear in the car to save both their lives when they went in the water?
I don't think Greg desired to commit a murder. I think what he did was get the gear out of the trunk, save her life by putting that pressure mask over her nose and mouth like that, see? You see where my thumb hits? He bruised her there probably when he jammed it on. Then he dragged her out of the wreck, left her on the beach, swam away with the scuba gear, never to be heard from again.
What do you gotta do to get some service around here?
We're in the middle of official police business, pal, okay?
Well, given the nature of the accident and the extent of Susan's injuries, the investigators would have no reason to question the bruising and the marks on her face.
Exactly. They probably figured the gear all washed out to sea if they stopped to think about it at all.
So Greg Hutchins staged his own death after all?
That's what I think happened. But the question is, why?
Hello, I'd like to pay for my meal, please.
All right.
Entire reason. Before I met you, my life was hollow, empty.
Over. Or did you forget that you were supposed to be moldering in a watery grave?
Susan, it's great to see you.
Who is this?
It's an old acquaintance, a friend of a friend. We shared an elevator once. You know, I knew that was you today.
Then why did you run away?
An expired parking meter. The tickets in this town, they're brutal.
Oh, as brutal as, say, letting me think I killed you?
Did you think that? Oh, I am so sorry. You know, I kept meaning to drop you a hallmark, but this darn amnesia. You know, it was a big car crash, a bump on the head.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. So, what's new?
What's new? What's new is I am standing in a diner at midnight talking to a man I thought I killed.
Well, you got to appreciate the coincidence. Of all the diners and all the towns and all the world, you happen to stumble into this one at the right moment.
No coincidence. You always were the cheapest date in town. If you were dating a waitress, free food had to figure in somehow.
And what did he get from you, honey? Girl Scout cookies?
I don't understand. You let me suffer all these years. I thought you loved me.
Hey, now don't be too hard on yourself. You were young, naive. You didn't know any better.
I can't believe I was ever engaged to you.
What? Wait a minute. You were engaged to her?
You were engaged to him?
Doesn't anyone know what closed means anymore?
What are you doing here?
I followed you.
I don't believe this. You don't trust me.
And I was right. You were lying to me.
But if you trusted me, you never would have known I was lying.
That's a relationship some people have.
Not like you and me, huh, babe?
Don't worry.
I wish I hadn't killed you.
You'll come back now, you hear?
I cannot believe I ever had feelings for that creep.
No, you heard him say it. You were young and you were naive. You didn't know any better.
How long were you standing there?
Long enough to see what a jerk Greg is.
So it's not bad enough that you followed me. You were spying on me, too.
You're right. Our relationship is built on trust, and I violated that. I shouldn't have followed you. I'm really sorry.
You don't really mean that. You think what you did was perfectly okay, and you're just apologizing because you don't want to fight.
Yes. Is it working?
Yes. It's funny. Over the years, I romanticized my time with Greg so much, I completely forgot what he was really like.
That's only natural. You remembered him dying young.
Looking back, the only part of the relationship that really worked was the...
Okay, that's good because I don't need to know anymore.
Scuba diving. What did you think I was gonna say?
Scuba diving? It's just I couldn't bear the thought of you scuba diving with another man.
You have never scuba dived in your life.
Well, that's because I was saving myself for the right woman. And I was hoping she'd be saving herself for me.
Let's get out of here right now. We can watch the sunrise over Carmel.
Well, we still gotta get the car to the garage, and I really don't think this is one of those open all night kinds of towns.
I wouldn't be too sure of that.
Yes, may want to take a look at this.
What is it?
It's a police report.
Greg Hutchins arrested for possession of stolen property 2 months before he died.
These are some of the pieces that were recovered.
You know, it looks like you robbed a museum.
Are they real?
They're real, all right. Genuine Spanish antiques from the late 1700s.
Where did you get them?
That's the strange part. No one ever reported them missing. No one made a claim.
What, the charges were dropped?
That's right.
Steve, we have to go to the library.
Now?
I gotta do some research.
Yeah, it's after midnight. The libraries are closed.
Memorial Library is open 24 hours at City College.
You have to be quite so much help. But what about the dishes?
Don't look at me.
Car's packed, B&B is paid for, and Carmel is waiting.
Maybe we should just head back to L.A.
I'm not gonna throw away the rest of this weekend.
It's better than throwing away our lives. Aren't you scared that the curse is going to get even deadlier the closer we get to Carmel?
Is that how you see me? As a quivering little coward whose life is ruled by fear and superstition?
Of course. But in a good way.
That was the old Jesse Travis, the one who was afraid to face fear and triumph. From now on, if I'm afraid of something, I do it. In fact, I'm even thinking about hang gliding in Carmel.
You're right. I've got to face my fears, too.
Then we'll face them together. I wonder if we can fit in one of those shark cages together. Susan?
I'm going back to that diner.
Sharks are in that direction.
Not the one I'm thinking of. I have to see Greg one last time.
I thought I talked you out of that stupid idea.
That was old Jesse. The new one just talked me back into it.
Susan. Did I happen to mention, too, that this is a really bad idea?
You did mention it when we were getting dressed, when we were packing, when we picked up the car. In fact, for the last 45 minutes, you have done nothing but tell me what a bad idea this is.
Well, I'm glad to see I'm getting through to you.
If your ex-girlfriend rose from the grave, wouldn't you want closure?
No, I'd want a crucifix and some garlic and to get away as fast as I could.
We're going to, just as soon as I give him back his ring.
Why don't you just mail that to him?
Where this ring is going, post office doesn't deliver.
I'm sorry, you two. We're closed.
Oh, too bad. We'll be on our way.
You know we're not here for breakfast. We want
pie.
Fresh out.
Huh.
We're looking for Greg.
Honey, man died to get away from you. Can't you take a hint?
She's got a point. Maybe we should go.
I spent 5 years feeling guilty over him. He owes me 5 minutes.
Well, you know, it's really not my problem. We're closed.
You want to get rid of me, right? This is how to do it, because otherwise I am staying here until I get my chance to shove this ring down his damn throat.
Take Main to the Coast Highway. It's the 5th house past the wash.
Thank you.
Maybe I can just get a little piece of cherry pie to go.
Greg? Greg, are you home?
Wow. Looks like the afterlife is pretty lucrative.
Greg! Jesse? Oh my God, Jesse, what are we gonna do now?
We leave. We call Mark while we're going.
Well, now, what are you doing here?
I just came to give Greg back his ring.
Oh, I know. So does everybody in town who saw that scene you made at the diner. I'll take that, son.
I'm just gonna call you.
Oh, I'm sure you were. Assume the position. Hands on the car.
We didn't do anything wrong.
Oh, after what Greg did to you. I doubt anybody would blame you for losing control. Or you for being mighty jealous. After all, either one of you could have killed him.
Hey, neither one of us said anything about Greg Hutchins being dead.
No, I guess you didn't. You know, I'm afraid you two aren't going to be making it to Carmel this weekend. Watch your heads.
Hi.
Hey, you guys have been up all night.
Oh, yeah. But it was worth it. My hunch paid off.
Yeah, what hunch was that?
I was just sure that all these valuable antiquities were tied in with Greg's disappearance, and I was right.
How?
Look here. See those initials right at the bottom of the cross right there?
MSM.
Yeah, Mission San Miguel, and the same initials on some of the other pieces, too.
So you're saying that Greg ripped off a mission?
You know, these items never made it to the mission.
We found in the research that there was an old Spanish galleon, the Buenaventura, which was plying the coast along here, dropping off relics to some of the missions in Mexico and California. They're also carrying other valuables like coins, jewelry, to trade with the natives. It didn't make it, sank.
Where?
Oh, somewhere between Pismo Beach and Morro Bay, about 15 miles offshore.
Greg was a diver. So he must have discovered the wreck on one of his dives, which explains why no one claimed the loot.
Mm-hmm. And when he got arrested, he knew he was going to get found out sooner or later, and he didn't want to share all this wealth with the tax people.
Or have his treasure confiscated by the Spanish government as historical objects.
So our guess is he staged his own death and then continued to plunder the ship.
How much money are we talking about?
Millions and millions.
These gold coins are worth 20,000 apiece. And there were hundreds of them aboard that ship.
Well, does Greg know his cover's been blown?
Well, according to Jesse, he and Susan chased him down the street.
Well, then he knows.
Been trying to get Jesse on a cell phone. Can't get through.
Well, we have to get up to him and warn him.
Well, the problem is Jesse never told Dad where he actually is.
Jesse did say that he had just seen the tallest oak tree in the state and a very quaint lighthouse, and that he was about 100 miles from Carmel. Yeah, so that narrows it down some.
Well, let's go.
We haven't had much use for a jail in this town. Although it's real nice for quiet cat naps. I know, it kind of looks like a dungeon. But we prefer to think of it as country charm. These stone walls are all that's left of the original structure. A bordello, believe it or not. In 1888, an old fisherman named Salty Maglu turned it
Shouldn't
into
you be reading us our rights rather than giving us a history lesson?
And I especially like the part about a lawyer being present during questioning.
Well, there's only one lawyer in Sea Ridge. And I'm afraid there'd be a conflict of interest. I'm also a notary.
You know the person who killed Greg Hutchins.
Son, who killed him isn't really important now.
It is to us.
I am truly sorry your car broke down in Sea Ridge. This really is a nice little town.
I'm so sorry, Jesse. This whole thing is my fault.
You don't have to apologize.
Yes, I do. If I hadn't gone chasing after Greg, none of this would have happened.
Well, maybe. But, you know, I would have done the same exact thing.
I should have listened to you. If I had just had some pie and minded my own business, we wouldn't be in this mess.
I don't think we have anything to worry about, okay? Mark is bound to come searching for us when we don't show up for work.
Jesse, look. Everybody's headed to the diner again. What's going on?
You ever see Race with the Devil?
No.
Bad Day at Black Rock?
No.
That's good. That's good.
Okay, we passed the tallest oak tree in the state about 10 minutes ago. It should put us somewhere in here.
Yeah, but there's about a half dozen towns between here and Morro Bay. It's going to take all day to check out each one of them.
We don't have that kind of time.
No.
Bobo, anyone?
What possessed you to buy all that junk food?
It's the only way I could get the cashier to talk. Spent $20 on peanut butter cups.
$20? I hope she had something worthwhile to say.
Matter of fact, she did. The only lighthouse within 100 miles of here is near a little place called Sea Ridge.
How far is it?
30 miles up the coast.
Well, Sea Ridge isn't even on the map.
It's probably too small.
Well, We better get going. I have a feeling there's something wrong.
It's over.
They don't seem very happy.
Well, I got a funny feeling we're not going to be either.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Yeah, this town has a dark secret that everyone shares.
I wouldn't put it like that.
Yeah, well, then what? You all part of some secret cult?
You seem like a couple of nice kids. And we know you didn't mean any harm, but the thing is, the people of Sea Ridge took a vote, and it was unanimous. You two are going to have to die.
How much time do you think we have left?
Well, the trial, the sentencing, last meal, all took less than an hour. I'd say the justice is pretty swift around here. You know, we're going to be executed in a few minutes. I think you can go off that diet now.
I was wrong to lie to you. About the ring, about Greg, about everything.
It's okay. I tell you what, if by some miracle you and I get out of this thing alive, we're going to promise each other to tell the truth about everything.
No matter what?
No matter what.
It's a promise.
You know, the truth is, I was jealous of Greg. I think deep down I wish that I could be the first one that you fell in love with.
You're the first one who counts.
I wish I could give you two a little more time alone, but we're on a schedule. I'm sorry.
This looks like a lovely town. Yeah, this place is big enough to be called a town.
Not a sound. Sit down, both of you. Enjoy your meal. Jay, keep our guests quiet while I go have a talk with our visitors. Well, afternoon.
Afternoon.
Can I help you folks with something?
Lieutenant Steve Sloan, L.A. Homicide. We're looking for a couple. We thought maybe...
Jesse Travis and Susan Hilliard.
You mind telling me how you know them?
We've only had one homicide in this town in 15 years. And it didn't happen until they showed up.
Do you know where they are?
Well, that's why you're here. They fled right after they killed Greg Hutchins. We don't have a real org here. To tell the truth, we haven't had much need for one until now.
Would you mind if I took a look?
Oh, I'd be obliged. That corner won't be here for 3 hours. Who'd they kill in L.A.?
No one.
So why are a homicide detective, a medical examiner, and a doctor chasing them halfway up the state?
Because they're our friends.
Well, they don't seem very friendly to me.
They were just passing through town when Susan spotted Greg. She thought he was long dead. So she was a little surprised and curious to see him alive on your streets.
Well, that's one way of looking at it. The way I see it, they were stalking him. He got away once. But I got a dozen witnesses who say your friends caught up with him later at the diner and nearly killed him.
I think maybe your witnesses are exaggerating.
Well, one of them was my daughter. Jolene was in love with him.
It's pretty clear cut. He died from a stab wound to the heart, I'd say sometime this morning. Where's the murder weapon?
Here. My daughter found it nearly pinned to the floor. She's going to be carrying that horrific image with her for the rest of her life, thanks to your friends.
I flagged their credit card. Somebody fitting Jesse's description uses gas card at a station about an hour north of here. Car matches his, and the woman he was with was blonde, about 5'6".
That's them.
I'll notify the state police and the highway patrol.
Maybe we can catch him first.
I probably don't need to remind you, but they are suspects in a homicide investigation. I do expect them to be brought back here for questioning.
Let's go.
We got to speed things up. We don't have much time. Bring them out. Let's go.
Thank you. You've been a big help.
Take care. So what do you think?
We have to keep going north. It's the only thing we can do.
Right.
Now, how long ago was that? All right, well, keep me posted.
According to the manager, it sounds like it was Jesse and Susan who were here.
They told her that they were on their way up to Carmel.
Well, then we're catching up to them. Jesse's credit card was used in a mini-mart another 20 miles north to charge a 6-pack of soda and a package of rice cakes.
20 miles north, that's not that far.
Oh, wait. We're not going north. We're going back, and I hope we're not too late.
Take care, Ben. Call the store. Make sure they're all cleared out. I've known Ben all my life. Hell, I've known everyone in this town since I was born. They were. It's a sad day for all of us.
Yeah, I could see how murdering a couple of people and driving off in a $70,000 car filled with gold can be a little depressing.
Son, I don't blame you for being upset. If it makes you feel any better, we aren't too happy about this either. Nobody was ever supposed to get hurt.
Just rich.
There's no crime in that mess.
There is now.
If I could do something about it, I would. All we ever wanted to do was to provide for our families, put food on the table. Ultimately, it's about survival. Yours or ours.
We lose.
Let's take a little stroll along the cliff. Enjoy the shoreline. Beautiful sky. One little push, it'll be over in an instant. Come on.
Are these rubies genuine? I've never seen any quite that big. It's hard to believe they're real. Did this all come from the Buenaventura?
We brought it up ourselves.
You know, it's really hard to believe that Greg gave away his little secret.
Greg Hutchins found the wreckage, but he didn't have the resources to plunder it. He saw how the town was dying, so he offered us a deal.
And the town pitched in to loot the wreckage.
Well, it's better paying. And a lot more fun than the jobs that we used to have. The cannery and the fishing boats.
Really gave the town a sense of purpose. Brought us together.
It's amazing the whole town could keep such a big secret, especially with so much money involved.
Well, you don't know our little town.
This isn't just a place to live, it's a part of who we are. When the cannery closed, this town started to die. Greg Hutchins gave us a way to save it so that we could all stay here.
So that's where Greg got the rings he gave us from the treasure.
A mistake. Greg wasn't from here, so it's no surprise he was the one person who couldn't be trusted.
So who killed him?
We all did. We're all in this together. For better or worse.
I guess this would qualify as worse.
I can't say it's worked out the way we hoped.
You know, that decoy couple you sent up the coast in Jesse's car almost kept us long enough for you to get away clear.
So what went wrong?
They bought rice cakes. Because that's what you figured Susan was eating.
But we didn't need to buy any because she had a whole suitcase full of them. Mark knew that.
And we didn't. But I think we'll still come through this okay.
Yeah, how do you figure that?
Well, there's only 5 of you against all of us. I don't see what's going to stop us from moving on the way we planned.
Oh, well, for starters, there's the highway patrol.
And the FBI.
Oh, and the IRS. I think a regular course of antibiotics will take care of the infection. I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, thanks for the opinion.
Hey, how do you like my hair?
Wow, I hate it. Makes you look 10 years older.
Thank you.
Jesse, that was a little brutal. Aren't you worried about hurting her feelings?
Oh, no. After this weekend, we promised each other that we would tell the truth no matter how painful it might be. Things could be better. Would you excuse me?
Kimberly says that Santa Claus will know if I haven't been doing all my exercises every day. And then he won't bring me anything for Christmas but a lump of coal.
But you have been doing your exercises, right?
Almost all of them.
Tell you what I'll do. I'll make sure, personally, that Santa Claus gets a good report on you, okay?
Thank you, Dr. Sloan.
Okay, let's go see your mom. Fine. She'll be tap dancing before long.
Hi, Claude. Oh, morning, Doc. Say, are you tuning up that barbershop quartet of yours for the Christmas party?
I was going to tune up my quartet. They were invited to perform at the International Sing Fest in Munich.
Hey, good for them.
Yeah, good for them. Bad for me. I've got to find 3 other guys to sing with now. Hey, you don't by any chance...
No. Sorry, Doc. I couldn't carry a tune in a watering can. Wait a minute now. What's this I see? Do you wash behind your ears?
Yes?
I think you missed a spot right about there.
I didn't wash behind this one either.
Clark? Nurse! Crash cart over here, now!
I was afraid you'd forgot about me.
No, not at all. I'm sorry, Claude. These things take a little time. Sit down, will you?
Well, let's get the mumbledygook over with. I got to get over to the Valley Costume Rental right about now. Pick up my Santa Claus suit. You didn't ask somebody else to do the Christmas party this year, now, did you?
No, of course not. Claude, about the fainting spell.
I got up too fast. That happens from time to time.
I'm afraid it's more complicated than that.
If you were a plant man, I guess you'd be telling me now that I shouldn't count on being a perennial. What is it? Cancer?
Pancreatic, Claude. It's very aggressive cancer. And of course, there's always a chance.
How much time have I got, Doc?
6 months, give or take.
Well, doggone, you had me worried. 6 months is a lot of time. You know how many people are going to die before I do? And most of them don't know it's coming. So they'll just fritter away their time without appreciating how precious every day is. But thanks to you, I'll know. You're giving me a gift.
But they're giving you a necktie.
I never wear them. And you know what the very best part is? Even if it's more take than give, I got all of spring. Always was my favorite season.
You know, it's not bad enough that the man is dying. It turns out that the plant maintenance company that Claude works for, they have no health insurance.
Is there anything you can do?
Well, up to a point. You know, the hospital can provide medical services. But there's going to come a time when he's going to need someplace to go die with some dignity. Claude has no place to go.
No family?
And no money.
He'll have Social Security and Medicare.
No. For some reason, some people just fall right through the cracks of their system. Claude's one of them. I called Social Security in Sacramento and talked to a friend of mine, but she doesn't think she can do anything for him.
I'll make some calls to the county in the morning. There's got to be some program we can get Claude into.
Thanks, Steve. That'd help. Listen, the annual Christmas party's coming up.
No.
You don't even know what I'm going to ask you.
Yes, I do. I made a fool out of myself singing last year. I'm not going to sing again this year.
No, you didn't. You were a little flat, but no, it's the spirit of the thing.
Dad, I'm sorry. I'm not doing it, right? I got to run. Good luck.
Dr. Sloan?
Yes?
Me and Bobby Joe heard you were looking for 3 singers for the hospital Christmas party.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I am.
Well, sir, you found half of them right here.
You two sing harmony, do you?
Not offhand, but if you can hum it, I'm sure we can sing it.
Well, why don't you sing something you know? I can hear your voices.
As we walked out on the streets of Laredo, we walked out in Laredo one day.
I'm telling you, that's the trouble with Christmas. It's one big commercial. You take the money out of Christmas, and what have you got? Arbor Day.
Arbor Day?
Peace on earth and goodwill towards men. It's all buried under cheap, gaudy materialism. Santa Claus hustles more merchandise in 1 month than the QVC does all year.
Stop exaggerating. It's not that bad.
Oh, no, I'm as bad as the next guy. I admit it. I run out and spend a fortune on Christmas cards every year, and I swear that I'm not going to. If someone sends me a card, I've got to send them a card. And then as Christmas gets closer and closer, I send cards to the people who haven't sent me a card, just in case they send me a card at the very last minute.
Wow. I mean, I'm amazed by you. When do you find time to practice medicine?
I'm telling you, if we were half as smart as bears, we'd hibernate through this whole thing.
Aha! 2 more unwitting victims. I'm collecting for the Southland Christmas charities. We feed the homeless every Christmas Eve and make sure that they don't go hungry.
Well, I think that's great, and I am happy to give. There you go.
How much of this money goes to the homeless, and how much of it goes to the people running the charity?
Jesse. No, this is a volunteer organization, Jesse. All the money goes to the food.
Well, see? You never know them. Ah! There's the, person who wraps my Christmas gifts. They're ready.
He always gets a little stranger on Christmas time.
Well, thanks.
Thank you very much. Claude, thought I gave you a couple of days off.
Well, I gotta keep them smiling. Besides, where should I be? My plants, all my friends, the kids on the ward. Everything I love most is under this roof. You having any luck with that barbershop quartet of yours?
No, not yet. I'm getting a little discouraged. I just hate to leave that part of the celebration out.
Well, something will turn up. It always does.
I hope you're right. Excuse me a minute, Claude.
Certainly, Doc.
Amanda, you're just the person I'm looking for.
No good has ever come from that statement. You're just the person I've been looking for.
That's not always true.
Mark, not once in my life has anyone ever come up to me and said, Amanda, you're just the person I've been looking for. You won the lottery. Or, Amanda, you're just the person I've been looking for. You're getting a gigantic refund on your tax return. Never.
Mm-hmm. What if I was to invite you to sing in my barbershop quartet?
You see?
But women so rarely get the chance to sing 4-part harmony. And you have a beautiful voice, I know.
And how do you know that?
I heard you sing.
You only heard me because I didn't know you were listening. And I have terrible stage fright.
It's perfectly normal. Everybody gets butterflies.
I know. This is different. I get a stomach ache, and then I start to shake. And then I get, dry mouth. And then I can't even breathe.
Yeah, but this would be different. There would be no stress here. You're singing in front of a bunch of friends. Would you just try it once, just for me?
Right now?
Yeah, I'm just the two of us. Come on.
All right. Oh, it's hopeless. Oh,
Well, if it's any consolation, you're the best audition I've heard so far.
thanks.
Dad, you got a minute?
Yeah.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Dad, you're not gonna believe this. There is no Claude Campbell.
What do you mean there's no Claude Campbell? I talked to him 15 minutes ago.
Well, there used to be a Claude Campbell, but he died when he was 7 years old. I was trying to find a way to get Claude, or whatever his name is, public assistance. I pulled every string I could think of. Well, apparently I pulled one too many because things began to unravel. Seems that Claude's name used to be Andrew Basevich. About 10 years ago, Mr. Basevich escaped from Potosi State Prison just outside of St. Louis, Missouri.
What, you saying Claude was in jail? What for, over-fertilizing the petunias?
13 years ago, Andrew Basevich murdered his wife.
This whole thing's a little confusing to me, Claude. Or should I call you Andrew?
No, Claude. Andrew was a whole other lifetime. I can't believe that I was ever that fella.
An escaped felon, you mean?
I didn't kill my wife, Lieutenant. I loved her.
But you were convicted, and you did break out of jail.
I wasn't guilty. Now, I can't say that I blame that jury for convicting me. I was found at the scene minutes after my wife had been stabbed.
Covered in blood with a murder weapon in your hands.
I found my wife dead on the kitchen floor. Someone hit me over the head, and when I came to, the police were there. They arrested me.
Did you have a bump on your head?
They said it was self-inflicted. Hell, if I'd been on that jury, I'd probably have convicted me, too.
But you didn't do it.
No.
Would you tell us if you had?
I'm going to see St. Peter pretty soon. Do you think that I really want to hear him say, Claude, you old bag of manure, we were going to let you in, but you went and lied to your friends?
Do you have any idea at all who did it, Claude?
I wish I did. I've had plenty of time to think about it.
You know, I think obviously this has been a mistake. What we have to do is clear it up.
The state of Missouri has already begun extradition proceedings.
Well, I'm Claude's doctor, and it is my medical opinion that he's not physically fit to travel. I won't authorize it.
Watch him. Dad, the law says that Andrew Basovich, alias Claude Campbell, goes back to Missouri.
The man is terminally ill.
Dad, if I don't take him back, they're just going to send someone else out to get him. You know that.
The hospital's got a lockdown ward. Until somebody arrives from Missouri to pick him up, you can put him in there, okay?
Mark's been looking for you.
I'm not surprised. Amanda warned me.
Warned?
Well, he can hold his breath because 1, I hate barbershop. 2, I'm not even going to the Christmas party. 3, I think I'm coming down with laryngitis. And 4, I can't sing. And 5, did I mention I hate barbershop?
Yeah, you mentioned that.
The only reason I'm even here is because I forgot my Palm Pilot and I need addresses so I can send out my gifts.
All Mark wanted was the name of that friend of yours, the hypnotist.
Connie Hazeltine?
I don't know. She's your friend.
Hey, Connie Hazeltine, can you tell him I'm in a hurry?
Sure.
No. No. No! Son of a... I can't believe this. I cannot believe this. This can't be happening. Why does this happen to me?
Jesse, my God, what happened?
Some idiot broke my window and took all the gifts I was sending back to my relatives.
What is wrong with people? At least you're not hurt.
Yeah, talk to my wallet. It's hurting to the tune of $600. I couldn't just wire flowers. I had to go buy stuff.
Jesse.
What am I supposed to do now? Spend another $600 and pray that everything gets there on time?
Well, it's not as bad as it seems.
Oh, no? It's worse. It's Christmas.
Jesse, I know you're upset about the broken glass and your stolen gifts, but that doesn't mean that you lose your Christmas spirit. And if you don't like what's happened at Christmas, then do something about it. I'm sorry.
Me? What can I do? I'm one person.
Claude, close your eyes and take a couple of very deep breaths and go back in your mind to the safe place you told me about. Now, let all the tension go. I want you to relax, completely relax. Let the tension go. Feel relaxed. With
That hypnotist, he could possibly remember something.
He said 13 years to remember.
Well, he was hit on the head, too.
He says he was hit on the head.
Well, he came to find his wife dead and himself under arrest for murder. That's a lot of trauma for one day. I think under the circumstances, he very possibly could have buried a memory or two.
Until I speak to you again. He's a wonderful subject. He's under hypnosis. Now, is there anything you want to find out?
Yes, I did type up some questions I'd like for you to ask, if you will.
Surely. Claude, do you remember the day your wife died?
Yes.
You were supposed to go on a trip. Why did you go home?
I was supposed to fly to Chicago on business. There was a tornado, and all the flights got shut down. There was a foot of water in the street out in front of my house. I barely made it home. It
was supper time, so I went in the kitchen, and my wife was lying with a knife in her back on the floor. I kneeled down to see if she was alive and pulled the knife out of her back, and someone hit me. When I came to, the police were there.
Claude, can you remember anything else? Anything at all?
A smell.
Smell? What was it?
Graham crackers and chocolate.
S'mores? With graham crackers and chocolate, marshmallows.
Oh, s'mores, yeah. Well, if the man said he smelled them, he smelled them. Why would he make something like that up?
I don't know. Maybe he wants you to think a troop of renegade Girl Scouts did it.
You did well.
Yes, he did. Doctor, thank you very much. I'll call you later.
You're welcome.
God, I'd like to speak with Claude for just a moment.
Did I come up with anything?
No.
Well, just a second. You came up with a smell. Graham crackers and chocolate.
I haven't thought about those in years. Sharon and her best friend Lily used to make up a batch of s'mores every time they'd get together for a dish session, as they called it.
This, Lily, was she there that day?
Not that I know of.
Dad, I can understand your concern for Claude, but I gotta tell you, you're giving new meaning to the expression grabbing at straws. Or, in this case, grabbing at s'mores.
I'm not making them up. The man smelled them.
We have it under hypnosis, which you know is hardly infallible. He could have smelled it earlier in the day, and now, under hypnosis, thinks it's when he came home.
But if he had smelled them when he came home, it meant somebody had to be in the house beside Sharon and Claude.
And?
So nobody else ever came forward.
Dad, you know people shy away from murder investigations. I mean, even innocent people.
You know, just wondering. Now, never mind.
What?
Well, I was just thinking, if I wasn't on call this weekend, I'd catch a plane and go see what I can find out.
No.
No what?
I am not going to St. Louis.
I'm not going to ask you.
We have judges in St. Louis, too, Doc. One other thing we've got back there is Christmas, and I have every intention of being home for it. And I'm sure as heck not going back empty-handed. And you can take that to the bank.
So let me understand this now. You came all this way because your father is convinced that Basevich is an innocent man.
Well, I know it sounds a little, I don't know.
I've got an old man, too. I'm 56 years old, and when my dad says jump, I still say hi.
Well, my dad's M.O. is a little different. He tries to convince me that jumping is my idea.
Different style, same results. Take a seat there.
Thanks.
So, LAPD, huh? You run into lots of movie stars out there?
Well, on occasion. On the Basevich case, you were the investigating officer?
That I was.
We had a hypnotist put Basevich under and regress him for the night of the murder.
Hypnotist? You really are from Hollywood, aren't you?
I guess it's not exactly conventional.
You guys from L.A., you crack me up. So, what'd you find out? He's a multiple personality or something?
No, nothing like that. He remembered a smell.
Oh, a smell.
Graham crackers and chocolate. Does that mean anything to you?
Chocolate? If I remember right, Mrs. Basevich went next door earlier in the day to borrow chocolate from a neighbor. But when we arrived, there was no chocolate in the entire house.
Could she have eaten it all?
Yeah, she could have, but she didn't. At least none showed up in the autopsy.
What'd you find in the dishwasher? Anything?
Dishwasher. Let's see. Oh, yeah, here. 3 coffee mugs, 2 small plates, and a saucepan. All spick and span.
I guess the killer could have carried away the ingredients for s'mores and then just washed up before you got there.
S'mores?
It's graham crackers and chocolate.
I've got a granddaughter in the Scouts. This is some cockamamie theory you got here. All because of a smell he remembers.
Well, Mr. Basevich told us that his wife and her best friend used to cook up a batch every time they got together. Lily Andrews, he said.
Lots of money and influence there.
Did you talk to her at the time?
Mm-hmm. She was all broken up, lost her best friend. She was convinced Basevich did it. Nothing we didn't already know. If you'd like to have a go at her, be my guest.
Well, I wouldn't mind touching all the bases, just for my father's peace of mind.
Mm-hmm. If you run into anybody out there that needs a police consultant on a movie or something...
Oh, I'll be sure and give him your name. Thank you, Captain.
All right.
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh. So many memories. Some of them very painful. Sharon was... Well, it was like between the two of us, we were one person. I would know she was going to call me before the phone even rang. When she was upset, sometimes I'd find myself standing on her doorstep, no idea why. Would you like some sugar?
Oh, no, that's fine, thanks.
No idea why, until she opened the door, and then... And we laughed. So much, so often. I've never really gotten over...
When was the last time you saw her?
2 days before she died. Lunch at the country club. My husband and I had just joined. Sharon and I, we would always make fun of the kind of people who would join a country club. We thought they were phonies. And the truth is, we really wanted to belong so badly. So the day we joined, I took Sharon to lunch there.
And the day she died?
Well, I was supposed to go over to her house. We were going to go shopping. But there was a terrible storm, so I didn't go. And then the phone rang, and oh, this was so strange. I didn't expect it. Wouldn't you think, as close as we were, that I would have known she was dead?
So you stayed home all day that day?
Oh, I couldn't go anywhere. It was like a monsoon. I keep thinking, if I had been there like I was supposed to be, maybe I could have stopped him. That bastard. He was afraid she was going to leave him, so he killed her.
Was there anyone here with you? Your husband, maybe?
Oh, you mean my ex-husband, Jonathan? No.
You think he might remember anything helpful?
I doubt it. He never seemed to remember much of anything, even back then. Except which stool was his at his favorite bar. You can probably still find him there if you want to go look.
Jonathan Andrews.
Oh, there's a hell of a coincidence. Happens to be my name, too.
I'm Steve Sloan. I'm with the Los Angeles Police Department.
Boy, are you lost. That's easy to do. Those damn freeways. You know, I was out there once. I was on my way to Newport Beach. Next thing I know, I'm in Bakersfield.
I'm investigating the murder of Sharon Basovich. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Oh, hold on. I was crammed for an exam. Frank? Fire away.
Your wife...
Ex-wife.
She says she was home all day the day Mrs. Basovich was murdered. I don't suppose you have any independent knowledge of that?
No, I wouldn't. Because it's not true. I'd gone out that day. Play a little golf. But it started to rain. So I ducked inside for a couple of drinks, wait out the storm. Finally, I decided I better go home. She wasn't there.
You sure you're remembering the right day?
You know, I can't remember where I parked my car an hour ago. But I definitely remember every detail of that day.
And why is that?
I got home about 4 o'clock. I was surprised Lily wasn't home. The weather was so bad. I was there about an hour, and I went back out to join some friends for a drink. Or should I say another?
And the police never talked to you?
As far as they knew, there's no reason to.
Meaning?
I was having an affair with Sharon.
Did your wife know that?
I don't think anybody knew. Certainly not old Andy Basovich. He thought everybody in the world was just like him, trusting and naive. But Lily, some women have a sixth sense about those things. There was one kind of strange thing. I bought Sharon a pair of earrings. Set me back $5 grand. As usual, I was drinking, wasn't thinking, charged them on my platinum card. Lily paid all the bills. I kept waiting for her to bring them up.
But she never did.
I decided that she must have missed the charge slip somehow. So I kept hoping that's what it was. Sharon was a sweet kid.
Oh, so you know, Maddie, I was thinking, what better way to get into the Christmas spirit than by digging into a big fat plate of sticky, messy ribs?
You mean that you'd be willing to feed everyone from the shelter right here?
I'm gonna need help.
Oh, we've got 20 volunteers.
That should do it.
What can I do?
Can you grab me some tinsel?
How's that? This is very generous of you, Jesse.
Well, I figured I could spend the $600 on my family, or I could spend it on a bunch of strangers who aren't going to get drunk and tell me that I'm not successful enough, or thoughtful enough, or tall enough for that matter.
You're very tall to me.
The earrings was one piece of evidence we held back from the media. When we found Sharon Basovich, the lobes were torn through, like someone had ripped the earrings right off of them. At the time, we thought maybe the husband, you know, to make it look like a robbery.
But you never found the earrings.
Nope. And Basovich didn't seem to know anything about them. I mean, you had to be in one god-awful rage to rip earrings off like that.
And you'd have to be a fool to hold on to them all these years.
Yeah, some people like trophies. Well, let's go see a judge about a warrant.
Earrings?
Emerald earrings with platinum settings.
Not exactly my style.
They belong to Sharon Basovich.
And you think that she gave them to me?
Well, maybe you took them.
I see. Well, please come in. Look wherever you like.
The warrant isn't for your house, ma'am. It's for your safety deposit box at Merchant Trust.
It's where your ex-husband says you keep all your valuable jewelry.
We'll need you to come along with us.
If you'll excuse me, I'd like to change my clothes.
Cool customer.
It's probably a wild goose chaser.
The lab results
aren't in, but he keeps bugging me about them.
What'd you tell him?
I didn't know what to tell him.
Hey, good looking. How did I ever miss you?
Excuse me?
Amanda, this is Deputy Sheriff Harmon Tolliver.
How do you do?
When I had my hernia operation last summer, I sure as heck didn't see any nurses who looked like movie stars.
Amanda Bentley is a doctor.
Even better. Gorgeous and rich.
If you'll excuse me, I have some actual human beings I need to attend to.
Likes to play hard to get, huh? You sent for me?
Yes, I had a call from my son, St. Louis. The police are satisfied that the person who murdered Mrs. Basovich is a Mrs. Lily Andrews.
No fooling.
Which means that Claude's innocent.
Of murder?
Yes.
But still guilty of busting out of jail.
He should never have been in jail in the first place.
He's still a fugitive, and I still have extradition papers.
The man's innocent.
Not till the system decides he's innocent. That's how it works. He'll have plenty of opportunity to apply for retrial or maybe even a full pardon when we get back to Missouri.
That could take months.
Never known it to take less.
You know he'll be dead by then.
Doesn't seem fair, does it?
You know, I'm just curious, Oliver. Is there any part of you at all that would like to see that poor man catch a break?
It's nothing personal, Doc, but I've got my job to do. I'll pick him up at 6 o'clock in the morning for the first flight back to St. Louis.
Merry Christmas, Barbecue Bob's. Hey, Mark. No, Steve's not here. Who? Yeah, he's here. Why? Okay, sure. Yeah, I got it. All right, bye.
You know, honey, I'm gonna kind of miss this place.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you might want to consider sticking around for another day.
Yeah? And I've got a feeling you're about to offer me a deal of some sort.
Tomorrow night is the hospital Christmas party. You let Claude play Santa Claus for one last time, and I'll convince Mark to quit stalling on the extradition. It's the guy's last Christmas.
Tomorrow's my day off. I was planning on staying in and stuffing a stocking or two.
There, you see? You can't get any more festive than that.
What time is the party over?
10 o'clock.
All right. I come to the party, Basovich plays Santa Claus. The minute the party's over, we climb aboard Santa's sleigh and take off to St. Louis.
Mr. Tolliver, you won't regret this.
I've got a feeling you could be right about that.
Jess, I got a message you were looking for me?
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm really sorry, Steve, but I need you to work at Barbecue Bob's tonight.
Oh, no, you don't. It was your idea to bring all these people in.
I have to operate.
On Christmas Eve?
Yes, Dr. Smith, son, Tinton, asked me to help as a transplant.
Doctor who?
On a young boy who's going to be given the gift of sight.
Oh, I don't believe this.
Steve, can you imagine waking up on Christmas morning, seeing the world for the first time? I know you're going to miss the party, but...
I just wish you'd given me a little more warning.
You're going to have 20 volunteers. It'll be a snap.
It's a Christmas party.
Excuse me. You all right? Claude's in that room right there.
One piece of advice. Any funny business, and I'll cuff you right in front of the kiddies.
Seat yourself back there. Anywhere's fine. Yeah. Hey there. Seat yourself. Anywhere's fine. Right back there.
And if I'm suddenly seeing two Santas, I'm shooting both of them and sorting things out later. Understood?
Dr. Sloan told me that you're the one responsible for letting me do this. I really appreciate it.
All right.
Technically, we're breaking the law here.
Well, the law gets its way 364 days of the year. There's got to be one day when justice gets its turn. What have you got? Oh. And it's been doctored.
By the doctor. I'd better get it back to him before he realizes it's missing.
Yeah. Dr. Travis?
I thought you were in the operating room.
Yeah, I am.
Where are my volunteers? You said they'd be here an hour ago.
They're not there yet?
You better get some and get them down here to help me.
Yeah, I'm on it. Hey, Madison! We've got a problem.
I used to be a short order cook, you know, if you need a hand.
Oh, okay. I used to be a waiter, and a damn good one. At least when I was sober. Well, I'm sober now.
Well, great.
And I was a cab driver.
And what is it that you want to do?
Eat.
Ladies and gentlemen, kids, you know, there is one among us for whom it is impossible to shop. Not because he has everything that matters anyway, like generosity and loyalty, courage, and a kind heart. No, what makes shopping for him such an incredible headache is that the gifts are just so darn hard to wrap. Mark, would you come up here, please? Now, from all of us to you, with much love, I bring to you straight from Munich.
Hi. Hi. How was Munich?
Oh, fantastic. Come on, join us.
Sleigh bells ring, ring-a-ling, are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening. A beautiful sight, we're happy tonight. Walking in a winter wonderland. Gone away is the bluebird. Here to stay is the new bird. He sings a love song as we go along, walking in a winter wonderland. Wonderland. In the meadow we can build a snowman, and we'll pretend that he is Parson Brown. He'll say, are you married? We'll say, no, man. But you can do the job when you're in town. In town later on, we'll conspire as we dream by the fire to face unafraid the plans that we made while walking in a winter wonderland. We were walking
in the blanket of snow.
We were walking
at the lights down low.
Walking in a winter wonderland.
You get Santa, I'll get the car.
Right.
Dr. Sloan?
Oh, there you are.
I can't go through with this.
With what?
Well, all you folks will get in trouble.
Not even a little bit of it. I mean, after all, it's not our fault that you disappeared with that reporter.
What reporter?
The one who came here with the photographer from the Times? No, we all saw you there in the corner talking to him. And when we looked back, he was gone, and so were you. I mean, we'll all testify to it. Dr. Travis, Dr. Bentley, I will. And don't worry about old Deputy Sheriff Tolliver over there. Before he'll tell his superiors that he was drunk on the job, he's going to have them believing that you were abducted by aliens.
Fast asleep, though your pillow soft and deep.
Now, Jesse's waiting outside to drive you to Mexico. He has friends down there who are anxious to meet you.
I always did love Bougainvillea.
Well, then you're in for a treat, my friend.
How can I say thank you, Dr. Sloan?
Gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Vaya con Dios, my friend. Vaya con Dios.
Bougainvillea are to die for. Just for the life of me, I can't quite make out that signature. What is it? You think Clark?
Yeah, could be Clark. Cecil, maybe.
Cecil. You got a friend named Cecil, do you?
Yeah, I do. In the Navy.
You weren't in the Navy?
Well, he was in the Navy.
Mm-hmm. And he still sends you postcards?
Oh, yeah. Once a year, isn't that something?
Mm-hmm. Merry Christmas, Dad.
Merry Christmas.